Former Prime Minister JAYDEN of ACR Libya was reported to have died of an illness last week, but according to a recent leak, he actually died due to a gunshot wound. This has led to a massive uproar in that country. Our former Prime Minister, a leader of peace and democracy, was killed by the ACR royal family! Africa must not fall back into the Dark Age! We request humanitarian and military support from the ABN military to protect the people of Africa! ACR Royal Family Press Secretary Rafini said this measure was taken because making any announcement before the investigation concluded might have led to a panic, an effort in confirming the leak. This crime was committed by the secret agents of the ABN Guidance Department, which has always challenged the harmony of the African continent. Male and a female member of the ABN involved with this assassination may have already been arrested. We have asked that the International Criminal Police Department issue an official notice regarding our 4 other participants. The ABN Department of Friendship, their equivalent of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, has expressed their deep regrets at these comments. Just now ABN's Pakistan's mining machines all started operating at once! The suspension of the Kashmir Spirit Field dispute, which both the ABN and the COU supposedly agreed to, is now over. Ever since the disputed Kashmir region was found to contain a large spirit field, the ABN and the COU have each publicly encouraged the other to show self-restraint, while simultaneously claiming that they themselves ought to possess the Kashmir region. This issue has been suspended for quite some time, but it seems that the moment has finally come for them to clash openly. The foreign ministers of the COU China and COU India have both released statements. They are harshly criticizing the ABN, saying that their breach of the agreement by resuming mining operations will not be tolerated and that they must bear responsibility for whatever happens next. World news has suddenly gotten so exciting! Is the information overload making you old people lose your minds?
It would count as information if this was news to us, but it isn't news to us. After all, when they announce the news, they're just reading our manuscript out loud for us.
Precisely! All is in the name of guiding humanity down the right path. Well. However, the Kashmir region isn't the only spirit field problem the COU has. There's also the Glass Sea of Japan. The vast glass sea that separates COU Japan and AOU Japan has been maintained by both countries as a symbol of peace and a World War relic. They have tended to use it as an opportunity to build harmony. At least until recently. Well, I suppose it's natural for rare spiritium to become a source of disputes. Who could have predicted that a spirit field of rare spiritium could be found on the earth below the Glass Sea? COU Japan did a soil analysis first. Oh no. Oops, did I say C instead of A? Oh. Sorry. Try doing that again. AOU Japan did a soil analysis first, discovering that a vast spirit field existed there, but they concealed that information and effectively prevented a soil analysis by COU Japan. AOU Japan says their announcement was merely delayed and that they hadn't intended to conceal anything, but the COU strongly suspects that they were trying to keep the spirit fields all for themselves. COU Japan claims that the Glass Sea was divided in half, so the western half belongs to them, but AOU Japan claims that the Glass Sea is a neutral zone managed by both countries. COU Japan has suggested that they might station border guards in that area, so it seems unlikely that the Glass Sea of Japan will escape becoming another disputed territory. Your Excellency received a report that our COU Japanese comrades that the stationing of the border guards will take place in 48 hours. Everything is proceeding smoothly. Even though they lost almost all their pieces in the big war, they've managed to scrape together this much in just over a century. I must admit I'm impressed. We also have reports that their pawns in the countries around the world have all started taking action at once. Are you sure we shouldn't make our move? Nah, it'll be fine. Nah, I'd win. Nah, I'm gonna do my own thing. I'm sorry. Okay. If half or so of the world gets destroyed, that's probably just what humanity needs about now. Civilization is a unicycle that humanity is constantly riding. If they stop, they'll fall. So they have to keep on moving. The only problem is that civilization has an end. When you reach that end, they will definitely come. It'll be a festival, a harvest festa. Everything will be reaped, without even a single husk left behind. It'll all be pulled up by the roots. Compared to that, World War IV will be far more humane. If you just rewind the world civilization a little, the end of civilization will be that much further away. And weapons of mass destruction have already been eradicated. See? Nothing to worry about at all. We have new information about the Atlantis Spirit Field issue in the Atlantic. The AOU American government has made a statement that the ACR, which currently has the unilateral military presence in that area, must withdraw the warship Atlantis of the ACR Combined Navy from the Spirit Field within 2 weeks. If they do not, the AOU American Navy will dispatch their Atlantic fleet to that location. They demand the ACR withdraw a single ship. Classified as a warship, but the Atlantis is the Super Fortress class segmented warship, an ocean fortress made of 7 massive linked warships. It's also a symbol of their occupation of the Atlantic Spirit Field, so it's hard to imagine the ACR going along with this. Another news item just in. The ACR royal family referencing 12 murders, including that of the former minister JAYDEN. Another news item just in. The ACR royal family referencing 12 murders, including that of the former Prime Minister JAYDEN, has demanded the return of the Supreme Chancellor Balomi of the Liberal Democratic Party African Liberation Front, who is currently receiving a political asylum in COU, Madagascar. It is unlikely that the COU will respond to this demand, and many think that this will further complicate the Mozambique Channel issue, which concerns a heating up of travel restrictions through the area near the Lemurian Spirit Field. Now for our next item. Just now, despite the repeated requests from the ABN Oracle Department to desist, the 7-state alliance in the western ABN Ukraine has started holding a national referendum on whether to seek admission into AOU Russia. The AOU Russian military is concentrated on their border and has hinted that they might enter a part of the humanitarian operation to protect citizens of Russian descent if the worst were to happen. Of course, the ABN Peace Department has objected vehemently to this. Suspected that, behind the scenes, complicated religious issues have been forcefully silenced are at play here. This powder keg may have been lit last month when several VIPs of the Ukrainian Orthodox Church were arrested. Meanwhile, the internet theories that all these international tensions are being fueled by the Lato international conspiracy have been gaining steam. It's a conspiracy by the countries of Lato trying to get the other 4 factions to take each other out. The 4 factions must maintain their self-restraint and calmly deal with these issues. Now's the time for peace and coexistence. The anti-pacifist Lato must be annihilated. Lato must stop monopolizing rare spiritium fields and share them with the whole world. Well, Lato, the world's greatest supplier of this rare spiritium, is periodically set up as a villain of international conspiracies. In particular, old major countries who look down on nations affiliated with Lato in the B3W era are rumored to be unsatisfied with Lato's international leadership in A3W society, even to the point of jealousy. It seems the military tensions springing up across the world will affect all factions, even Lato. This has been quite a day. It's just one bit of unsettling news after another. As if you didn't know about all these things beforehand, Your Excellency. In the highest class private room of a resort hotel of an old pudgy military official and Tojiro were sharing a meal. There were MPs in the 4 corners of the room all staring at Tojiro. Humans are despicable creatures after all. Feelings of superiority we get simply from knowing things a bit sooner than the general public makes a good drink that met. The feeling of superiority we get simply from knowing things a bit sooner than the general public makes a good drink that much more delicious. We keep this up and dash straight into World War IV. That ought to sober them up. No one wants that. This moderate sort of tension sometimes builds during peacetime, but whenever it does, they beautifully make up and give the world's Jews a good story with nice and moral. Everyone wants a scenario like that to play out. That's what will happen this time too. After all, unless you're giving humans some tension every now and then, you start to forget how precious peace is. They also forget how grateful they are to the people who protected that peace. Exactly. After all, this spurt of international tension will make for an excellent chance to show off the true purpose of militaries and related institutions. The job has become nothing more than earning medals in the Palestine festivals under the noble guidance of being servants of peace. Humans are foolish creatures who respect proactive occupations, show absolutely no respect for reactive ones. When militaries were hailed as guardians supporting the walls of peace, their budgets had started to decline everywhere in recent years. After all, national borders had been maintained thanks to the healthy military balance, and now wonderfully stable. Not only that, but once the newest type of weapon, the gauntlet, was made ready for practical use, a few thousand suitable youths would be able to replace millions of soldiers. In the end, militaries around the world would probably be dismantled. This development was hardly amusing for old men with vested interests in the military's upper echelon, as well as high-ranking men in active service who wanted their spots. If only we had an upspring of military tensions giving me a chance to shine. A lot of military men were thinking that. It's just like how there's never been an exterminator who wants all bugs to go extinct. However, there were quite a few old men who didn't care about the future, who were more interested in how much easy money they could make now. By the time all militaries were dissolved, they'd be long retired. Why should they care what happens after that? Then these global military tensions, which were building after such a long time, would be their last festival. A chance to rake in the dough. The military official rose to his feet and gazed through the window at a well-lit pool under the night sky. Tojiro, I hear you're a fairly well-known broker in this arena. One of my friends in the Department of Defense says that he's making a killing thanks to you. Oh, wonder who that friend might be. Doing business with me. Being loose-lipped is against the rules. No, his lips were indeed tightly sealed, and I can guarantee that he'll never speak of you again as long as he lives. Have no fear, Tojiro. I see. So that's why he never responds when I ask him to go out for a drink. Tojiro, I'm not a small fry like him. I have power. I have no shortage of strong cards to play. Those cards I can help you earn even more. Do you mind showing me those cards? I've never shown my cards to anyone who hasn't brought me a sack of money, but you're different, Tojiro. Very well, as an apology for inviting you here so abruptly, I'll show you. The military official signaled to an MP with his chin.
You've got mail, boyo! It's an attached file, boyo!
An email had been sent to Tojiro's cellcom. He quickly checked the attached file. In it was a record of the top-secret meeting at the IMPA, the International Peace Mediation Association. It showed that they had decided to take a wait-and-see approach, practically speaking, regarding the feuds that had popped up simultaneously all over the world. The digital signature was good. This was real. It wasn't exactly surprising, considering this man's position and connections. It should have been impossible for him to get his hands on this. This card's not bad, Your Excellency. These files were surely precious things, capable of predicting the future state of the world. The cards I have really are nothing special. I hear you have some very nice cards yourself, and that you have all sorts from all over the globe. Compared to your cards, mine are a little more than a parking pass. Tojiro, I want to be your new friend. Or are you thinking that I wouldn't be useful to your business? The plump military official held out his big greasy hand for a handshake. Tojiro chuckled and grasped the man's hand. You wouldn't notice unless you looked closely, but this was a slightly unique handshake with a peculiar arrangement of fingers. I'm glad to have formed an amicable relationship with you, now that you've joined forces with me. I promise to make sure you rake in the dough. And I promise to earn you even more. Or rather, if I didn't, I get the feeling I'd be footing the bill for my stay here. Hey, Tojiro, as your new friend and since we're exchanging business cards, I ask you to reveal just one tiny card of yours. The military official suddenly smirked impishly. There was a sort of unpleasant familiarity, often used by people who don't really want to be called friends. In that case, to celebrate my new friendship with Your Excellency, here's your card. Have any stock in environmental HMS-related companies? Of course! Stock in HMS companies is like a goose that always lays safe golden eggs. You may want to sell that off, bit by bit. Why? Well, now that would be a different card, Your Excellency. You aren't testing me, are you? Not at all. You really do trust me. You better do as I say. If environmental HMS were to run into some kind of trouble, the whole world would go back to its nanomachine allergy the century past. That happens, it'll already be too late. I understand, Totoro. I'll take this friend's warning to heart. First Lieutenant Valentina! I'm right here. Tojiro is my friend. Tell the public safety office that they may remove their mark on him. You may leave. As you wish, Your Excellency. Valentina saluted and left the room. As she walked through the hall, her Kizuna told her that a friend had sent her a message.
You received a message from our friend Marikamen, Poyo!
Did you see the news? It looks like all kinds of crazy things are happening all over the world. I even got a notification saying that I might get caught up in some kind of conspiracy, so I need to be extra conscious and careful of anything suspicious. Seriously, what will I do if war really does break out? I only became a Gauntlet Knight because I wanted to fly. I don't want a war. Seriously.
Opening text editor, Poyo.
Don't be silly. Of course there won't be a war. No one wants war. They're all just amusing themselves with this situation that smells like war. It's just like how you enjoy being scared of ghosts every year during Halloween.
Message sent to Marikamen, Poyo!
You became a soldier because you wanted to fly. Monsters all over the world are wriggling in the darkness trying to start a greed-filled carnival. Only those who predicted the wave and managed to get a move first will survive and get rich. You became a soldier because you wanted to fly. That cheap resolve is going to cost you.
Our friend has arrived, Poyo!
Jayden, thanks for waiting! Sorry I'm late! I don't mind that! Not at all! Of course that was a lie. Was it really today? Was this really the right time? Was this really the right place? He had checked that mail thread with his mental tablet way too many times, so much so that he'd been asked, do you want to set this as your default wallpaper, Poyo? Damn. She didn't cancel at the last minute. How can you be so rude, Abdo? Also, you owe me one credit. A late woman is one for you. Wait, a late woman is the one for you. A late man must commit seppuku. What? Arriving first and waiting is what makes a man a man. I'll just wait as long as possible until it's like an hour. 30 minutes is okay, but an hour's tops is the maximum. When you're late, you're late. Anyway, in the virtual room inside Jayden's head, all of his male friends from the public bath were giving him support. After all, because Super Genius Jayden's parallel processing ability had been recognized at a young age, he had grown up in a special institution. Forget that baptism of American boys known as the prom. He hadn't had any exciting contact with the opposite sex at all. He did have a naturally cheery personality, and he knew from sitcoms how attractive guys were supposed to act, but this was his first time putting that into practice. A closely fought battle had taken place between the pressure of making sure his first date had a good time, and his pride and embarrassment at the thought of having to ask his friends for help. Eventually, the former won out, and he had gathered his friends in a virtual room so they could offer him support during his date. Hey boys, shouldn't you start by complimenting the girl who got all dressed up for this day? Oh, right! Your clothes look really cute today.
Thanks. But I overdid it a bit, and it looks like my shoes don't really fit me.
They're adorably girly shoes. You have Meow's body, but you look cute when you're Meow. -5 points. When dealing with a CPP, it's safer to avoid comparing them to their other personalities. Crap!
I picked them because they're cute, but there's no point if it's hard to walk in them. And on the big day of our date, too.
Whoa! I'm stuck already! How am I supposed to respond to that? I'd say, don't worry about being hard to walk. Just hold my hand and we'll take it slow. I'd show respect for the fact that she chose shoes she wasn't used to. Thanks for picking the cutest shoes for my sake. Well, I'd go with let's stop by a drugstore and buy some foot protection tape so your precious feet don't get hurt. If we're going that route, say, for the sake of your lovely feet, my princess, I would gladly become your clogs myself. And how about you soon with, that's what happens when you wear shoes you aren't used to, stupid. And then Dara with a speak up if you can. I'm sorry, I can't. Let's try this again. How? Alright, let's continue. How about you soon with a, that's what happens when you wear shoes you aren't used to, stupid. And then Dare with a, speak up if you get tired, okay? I'll carry you. Whoa. Oh, that's so funny.
Oh no! It looks like Jada got confused and froze. Maybe he really just wanted to go out and have fun, and now he's creeped out because I suddenly called it a date.
Get a hold of yourself! A date is a battlefield! If you let your guard down, some other girl will snatch him from you! Jaden is pretty cool after all. Even I was thinking about taking a shot at him. I'm not sure about the cool part, but I learned from this that he's surprisingly cute. Still, I don't understand. Why did you go out of your way to get Meow shoes that were hard to walk in?
You just don't get it, well. If you taught her around knock with shoes, the boy might lend you his shoulders, wow!
By the way, fun fact being Chinese. I'll bring this up. Like, if you've seen like some of the shoes in Chinese dynasties, or like the small tiny shoes, that was one of the reasons why they did it. Of course, I don't support foot binding. I prefer the other Chinese shoes where they're not like, where you don't have to break your feet. So, yeah. I mean, there are some that have heels that are in the middle, kind of like the Tengu shoes, which are, I believe, the Qing dynasty. But yeah, I think it's also based on that kind of thing too, so yeah. There you go. The tottering is cute, apparently. I don't know. It shows off your mentality of pure and innocent love, since you chose those shoes for him, even though it would be difficult to walk in them. It's a splendid romantic strategy. Jaden's hesitation is proof that he's just as nervous as she is. Just enjoy this feeling of awkwardness and innocence.
Just enjoy it? That doesn't help at all!
Just like Jaden, Meow had also been invited to the girls of the public bath, into her mind asking them to give her support. But you know what they say about having too many cooks in the kitchen. In the end, the support didn't help either of them, and it only ended up confusing them. Oh, if it's hard to walk, I'll walk at the same pace, so just let me know. Also, thanks for choosing such cute shoes for my sake, and let's stop by a drugstore and I want to be your clogs. Stupid. Wait, I take it back! That didn't happen! Huh? Now, when the man slips up, you must giggle and soften the mood.
Now's your chance to pretend and trim and lay on his shoulder, wow!
Meow took all the advice she was given, pretending to trip while giggling and clinging to his shoulder, as well as poking his nose, and saying, "We'd better go to the hospital and get you some help, silly." An incredible combo move. What does that mean? What should I do?
Jaden's getting creeped out again! What should I do? I never should have gone on a date! Oh!
It seems it would take quite some time before either realized that getting live advice during a date was a bad idea. Jaden had been the one who asked her out. Meow was the kind of personality that hid in Meow's shadow most of the time, so there weren't really many chances to talk to her directly. One night when Meow was sleeping, he had messaged Meow, and while they were engrossed in their conversation, he had strengthened his resolve, deciding that he didn't ask her out now, it might be a long time before he got another chance. He stepped up to a man's challenge, and, miraculously, had set up today's date. The location he had chosen was Neo Akihabara in the center of Tokyo. Of course, it's got its name from Akihabara, which was once hailed as the sacred land of otaku culture. It is still a sacred land for subcultures in this era, but that definition was now broader. In addition to anime, manga, games, and it was packed with all sorts of ridiculous things, including artists, performers, underground idols, and precision circuit board shop, a carnivorous plant shop, the World Spice the World Spice Marketplace, the official chess boxing the official chess boxing shop, an underwear combat gym. Okay. Oh no! I'm reading that wrong. I'm so sorry. Okay. I don't know what happened. My brain is like, okay. Shh. That didn't happen. An underwater combat gym. The World Furry Convention. Monster parties. The Hairy Man Co-Sleeping Cafe. What? The Slug Racing. Wait, what? The Slug Racing Tokyo Wanyan Cup. Stop by now and get 200 sacred gems and so on. What mistakes did I make when No, I didn't! I didn't say anything weird! And it was a bustling city always filled with the enthusiasm of youths who wanted to make their dreams a reality. I didn't say that, ignore it! By the way, the original Akihabara had been swallowed up by fancy fashion skyscrapers and was now a high-class city lined with expensive brand stores on par with Ginza. These days, saying someone was Akiba style basically meant that they looked like a celebrity. Oh, your boyfriend's Akiba style? Wow! No, not that Akiba style. He's Neo Akiba style. Has become a classic gag in this era. At first, Jada had thought about using a more standard route, going to a stylish place you expect girls to like. However, according to the advice of his friends, dates turn out better if you go somewhere you both can enjoy, rather than catering to what one person wants. The point of a date is that you both enjoy it, right? If you're just trying to entertain her, that makes you a tour guide, not a lover. But even so, how could you choose Neo Akihabara? Shouldn't it be a more grown-up city? Grown-up cities are built to entertain grown-ups. Those two are kids. Kids should be kids and play where they don't have to strain themselves. In my experience, women who want a grown-up date usually just want to show off by walking around with a hot guy. Hey now, this is no time to badmouth the princess, okay? That Jayden choosing such a childish city as this! It's so much more satisfying to go to a grown-up town where you can show everyone what a grown-up date you're having! After classifying their types and their available area of action, the city was optimal. Neo Akihabara is famous even in the COU. They say that there are all sorts of strange things there. I would like to go if I had a chance. If you hear that, I bet a certain someone would say, such a place is not suitable for one such as you, princess. Momotake is always strict on me. I suppose father told him to keep an eye out. But I heard that Neo Akihabara is an immoral city filled with posters and billboards that expose women's skin. Wow, that's just too obscene. That's the old Akihabara. Neo Akihabara goes far beyond that, as a melting pot of all sorts of inexplicable cultures. Come on, don't be shy, take a look. In JAYDEN and MEOW's brains, their friends were definitely looking down on this from above, like sightseers. Jayden, do you come to cities like this a lot? Well, every once in a while. I've gotten involved with subcultures briefly a few times. It's not like I'm an otaku or anything. I knew someone as cool as you couldn't possibly be an otaku. Yeah! Otaku are like so antisocial, right? You're right. It's just crazy to lock yourself up and playing video games all the time. Why were they suddenly pretending to be normies? Both of them had forgotten that they first met each other at the game center. In fact, Jayden loved video games, manga, and anime. And yet he was one of the lucky few who looked like a normie on the outside. By the way, MEOW loved video games and anime and manga too. Most of the time, she couldn't leave the inside of MEOW's head, so entertaining herself by fishing around the internet had become a hobby of hers. Yeah, I have to stay inside all the time, so that's part of it. I mean, I've always liked it, but yeah. But I like to just appear normal. I don't like being very open with my hobbies if I go outside. And I don't really have a lot of merch or whatever. I'm not into that kind of thing. My room just only has a couple of figures and that's it. I'm not really into any of the other stuff. After seeing this, their friends concluded that they were doing something typical of innocent couples going into bluff mode and trying too hard to look impressive. They poked fun at them under a lot under the guise of giving advice, saying, "Be honest, don't lie to her and yourself. How could you just possibly like someone who can't say what they like? Gradually, the pair of them both realized they were thinking the exact same thing and trying too hard in exactly the same way. Ah, sheesh. What's up with me today? This isn't how Super Genius Jayden is supposed to be. Sorry, Meow. I've just been lying my ass off trying to look cool. I love games and stuff. I love manga too. On my days off, I'm a freaking otaku who stays shut up in his room from morning till night. I act like I knew nothing about this city, but that's not true at all. If anything, this is my home. That Maid Game Center we just passed? I go there all the time. I got a freaking platinum membership card. I know I said that's creepy. I wonder what kind of person goes to places like that, but this here's obviously platinum, isn't it? Thank you for your time.
If you say that, well, this is the first time I've come to this city, but I've bought a lot of things from these stores over the net. And as for me, I spend all my time shut up in my brain, and I love manga and games. But I didn't want to creep you out.
What the heck? So we've both been just trying to act cool?
We're so uncool.
You want to play games too, Meow? Which manga have you read?
Stuff like One Piece, Slam Dunk, Dragon Bell?
Whoa, so you love the classics, huh? I love all of those, and when I start reading them all on my days off, it suddenly gets dark outside before I realize it. At one point, the old internet's culture had brought manga and similar industries to the brink of destruction, with illegal sharing and the like. However, thanks to various new A3W technologies, they were being protected again and were on the rise once more. Partly because manga making techniques had temporarily gone extinct, classics from the A2W's golden age of manga were coming into the limelight yet again. Huh. I love Yu Yu Sama Hakusho and Hunted x Hunted too. Hunted, sorry. JoJo's Bizarre Barbecue is great too. One time when my friends and I had a barbecue, I tried to do a JoJo grill but screwed up and dropped the meat. I want to do a JoJo grill too! I want to do the one on the cover of Volume 32! We really are creepy, aren't we?
Yeah, we are. But I think that's us at our most honest, and this city suits it perfectly.
The two of them finally became their real selves, relaxing and laughing together honestly. Jayden had said something unfortunate earlier, but he was really amazed at how impossible it was to think that this was the same body as Meow's. True, her outfit and makeup didn't make a difference, but can a person really look this different just by how they act? He couldn't help but be amazed by the fact that when dealing with humans, what they are on the inside matters far more than how they appear. At the same time, he felt even more affection for Meow. Even though they were going out for the first time, she had been watching for so long, inserting compliments in the middle of Meow's lecture mode the whole time. And, as his fondness increased, a certain question entered his head and wouldn't go away. However, he couldn't ask Meow directly. It'd be hard to find the answer. And if he asked his friends, they might get really mad at him this time. No, but isn't this exactly the time you're supposed to rely on your adolescent friends? Are y'all still here? Yeah, pretty much. We thought it would be rude to intrude any further. We're just planning to go our separate ways. If this question is inappropriate, please forget what happened today and leave quietly. I don't even mind if you unfriend me. Hey, what's up? It's not like you to be this serious. Let's try that again. Hey, what's up? It's not like you to be this serious. I don't know anything about CVPs, so I keep misunderstanding things and hurting people. I really am sorry that I'm so ignorant. I get all that. But there's still one thing I just have to ask. There's no need to be so timid. Ask us whatever you want. We'll happily answer any questions you have. So, is this about what to do in bed? No, it's not like I expect that to come up on a first date. It's just, the thing I want to ask is sort of related to that. I want to make this clear. No, the simple fact that I care about something like this might already be rude to some of the people here, but even I'm basically a healthy, average, absolutely normal guy, right? Isn't it obvious that I want to know? About Meow, or rather Meow. Which is he? Which sex? Can't you just check in the shower room after training? The AOU, out of consideration to various genders, was one of those anti-sexual discrimination nations. As a result, resident cards in their countries allied with the AOU indicated their citizen numbers and names, but not their sexes. Information about one's sex was shared only when it became necessary at medical institutes. And even then, it was shared only between the person and their hospital, and the information would be instantly removed after a certain time had passed. For example, in addition to men and women's public bathrooms where there were also restrooms either could use. There were also restrooms either could use. Just like women's restrooms, they had only stalls. However, you were allowed to use them regardless of your sex, so even gender minorities could use them without having to worry about whether they are a boy or a girl. In short, even sex was a protected item of private information in AOU Japan. Gauntlet Knights who were military officers were given suitable lodgings for their positions. For that reason, even their showers were in their fully equipped private rooms. So, he had never seen whether his partner's body was male or female. Of course, any sort of touching that would allow you to determine someone's sex was illegal throughout the AOU, regardless of the perpetrator's age or gender. If Meow's build had been more dramatically one way or the other, it would have been easy to tell, but he really did have a gray sort of build that could be either a man or a woman's. And, you know, I'm still a guy, right? If I find someone I like, I want to form a steady relationship with them. In the end, well, I'd like to go as far as I can go. That's not weird, is it? Isn't that healthy? But dang! At the very end, if we get carried away, and in that final instant, if we're, sexually incompatible from a biological standpoint, what do I do? I think those three from the yellow dot. Yellow dot. Okay, let's try again. I think those three from Yellow Dot Shove It could field that question best. Should I call them? No! I want to ask the people here. At first, everyone felt like bursting out laughing and poking fun at him, but they did understand how he felt. If you get the lucky half of those 50-50 odds, I'd say there's no room for debate, so go for it. The problem is the other 50%. Yep. You didn't fall in love with her because you're after her body, right? So it doesn't really matter what her biological sex is, does it? That's right! It's Meow's heart and her kindness I fell in love with. Even if her body isn't a girl, I'll accept her! You are a true man. However, for your own mental health, you should probably resolve this issue quickly. If your heightened libido is unable to properly sublimate, you can expect to receive some considerable mental damage. So if you're unable to identify her sex somehow, what will you do if Meow's body is male, Jayden? I'll do all I can to be best friends with her. What the hell am I doing? I just said I'm not after her body, but I'll be let down if her body's male? Am I just a pervert? That's not how Super Genius J is supposed to act. I'm super uncool. Several of the most recent studies indicate that about 10% of the population is homosexual. Same-sex couples aren't particularly rare either. Apparently, women these days view same-sex couples more as pure love since your partner isn't just after your body. Well, love takes all kinds of forms. Either way, there are as many types of love as there are lovers. If this is true love, you ought to follow through to the end. You need not let the words of outsiders trouble you. In the end, that's what it comes down to. Do you like her or not? And if you do, how are you going to show each other that? In the end, that's for the two of you to decide. The young pair's sexual troubles were very innocent, and the kind of thing that can change completely depending on one's culture. The young pair's sexual troubles were very innocent, and the kind of thing that can change completely depending on one's country, culture, and religion. However, Jayden and Meow were fortunately part of the same cultural sphere and had similar values when it came to romance. On top of that, the AOU was accepting of all sorts of genders, and same-sex marriages were legal as well. In other words, you should decide freely by your own will, as a pair who loves each other. That's the world you live in, so you should enjoy your love to the fullest within those rules. It wasn't as though they were irresponsibly supporting a romance of a couple with unknown genders. They said this with the understanding that the AOU acknowledged same-sex couples. The AOU claimed to have abolished discrimination against sexual minorities, but not all factions did this. If Jayden and Meow had been in a different faction or cultural sphere, the others would have probably offered different advice. If Meow and I weren't from the AOU, could this have gotten messy? In the ABN, homosexuality is accepted, at least on the surface. However, the Unified Religious Council keeps putting off making a decision about whether or not homosexuality is acceptable. Because of that, fundamentalists who like to call themselves devout still take an unsympathetic attitude. In the ACR, same-sex marriage is officially supported. Still, was it last year? It got out that one of the princes was gay and everyone freaked out. Pretty sure he gave up his place in the royal succession and was forced to become a monk. Yeah, I remember that. Gender minorities across the ACR started holding protests, right? It's not as though people across the world are free to do whatever they want like in the AOU. We still don't know for sure if Meow's the same sex as me, but the world does have all kinds of issues, doesn't it? You remember that girl Ruhi from my squad, Saparna? Rukshana? I remember her. She's the cute girl who came in waving with you during the Bath Festival, right? In the culture of her country, it's considered moral to have members of the opposite sex in the workplace. Wait, what? Then how do men and women work together? Similar to how men and women have different bathrooms and changing rooms, people in her culture think it's better to have workplaces that are also divided between boys and girls. What a modest culture. Because of that, when it came out the squad that she had been assigned to had a man in it, it caused a bit of fuss in her home country. The local concerns in the COU upper echelons had been partly responsible for the formation of the KET, so they couldn't have Andre lead their A squad just for Rushana's sake. Instead, the heads of the COU government had stepped in personally to mediate, and in the end, the whole matter was settled by having the king of Rushana's country publicly announce that she had been given special permission. I don't want you to get the wrong idea, but I'm not trying to say one group is right or wrong here. I'm just pointing out that all regions have their own cultures, which have been developed over long histories. They all have to respect one another. Fortunately, in the cultural sphere you and Meow live in, there shouldn't be any problems regardless of what her sex actually is. That's all I'm saying. Still, there's one thing I want you to make sure to remember. In the AOU, whether it's same-sex marriage or whatever, that issue only concerns the two people involved. However, in another region, that could be completely different. In some situations, no matter how much you two decided you loved each other, it wouldn't work out. Make sure you don't forget that, okay? In that sense, you're quite fortunate, Jayden. There are all sorts of cultures and ways of thinking in this world. The AOU often calls itself an advanced nation when it comes to human rights. However, that might be an arrogant way of thinking about it. For example, same-sex marriages are allowed in the AOU, but marriage between close relatives is not. However, if there existed a country that didn't allow same-sex marriages, but did allow marriages between close relatives, then the AOU would definitely be a backwards nation in their eyes. It isn't as though the cultures and laws of each and every place suddenly fall out of the sky one day engraved on stone tablets. These things have been brewed throughout the long histories of the people in these lands. It would be arrogant for an outsider to call some of them advanced and some backwards. I believe, there's, what is it called? Ethnocentric points of view versus, please look it up. But versus, I forget the terms, but if you look up ethnocentric, ETHNOCENTRIC, that, I think that one means you only see it as your point of view versus try to look for the opposite of that word, but essentially it's just saying to try to consider other ones. Like, I mean, of course, but yeah. So when some aspect of a culture doesn't fit in with its era, it's up to the people living in that cultural sphere to decide whether they should change it or not. Since even a single culture can have so many divergent views, if this pair of lovers had actually been from different cultures, this issue would surely have become even more complicated. It's even possible that it wouldn't work out, even if both of the lovers decide to go through with it. We'll talk it over alone and make our decision. We won't worry about what other people say. Those are the rules of this land, and I decided to deepen my relationship with MEOW. That's good. And as for overcoming the differences between American and Japanese culture, you should be able to find countless tips on the net from people who've succeeded at it. The rest is up to me to figure out. And the answer is obvious. Conclusion, no matter what sex her body is, I, JAYDEN, like MEOW. However, if I know her sex beforehand, I'll be able to control myself better in various ways, and I'm sure I'll be able to avoid hurting her. No. Maybe it'll hurt her just to know that I'm thinking this. Oh, wait, I'm making a mistake here. This isn't something I have to figure out alone. It's something MEOW and I have to figure out. If both of us really do want to be together, I'm sure we'll naturally find the proper distance to keep while still being ourselves. Isn't that obvious now, considering how much we managed to relax around each other since we first arrived at Neo Akihabara?
I guess you really do want to know, right?
What do you mean?
About my biological sex.
I panicked, thinking that she'd seen right through him. And again, MEOW had probably been having a mental conference with her female friends just like JAYDEN.
Yeah?
I love you, MEOW.
Thank you.
Still, I didn't fall in love with you because you're a girl. It's because you're MEOW.
Uh-huh.
So I'm not gonna force you to tell me.
I see.
And anyway, how can you be so sure I'm a guy? See how long my hair is? Maybe when I'm in my room I'd tie them into twin tails and wear a miniskirt maid outfits, right?
I think I'd like to see that.
So don't worry about it. We don't even live in a time where the CICONIA will carry our babies to us. Worrying about biological sex is a concept of the past.
You're saying that out of concern for me, aren't you? Thanks, JAYDEN. Still, I really do think this is unfair.
What is?
I mean, I'm being unfair, not you.
What? Seriously? Why?
I started liking you knowing that you're a wonderful man, but you started liking me even without even knowing my sex.
Is biological sex really so important when two people like each other? Well, I do believe JAYDEN has the right to seek sexual relations with the opposite gender in his dating life.
Wow? What relations? My kettle plant started croaking and I couldn't hear that part.
Oh my! Want me to show you how to take off your filters? I agree with Rethabi. I agree with Ritabil. If JAYDEN isn't going to be able to find what he's looking for, he has the right to spend all that effort on a different girl. Maybe it's the same kind of unfairness as a married person pretending to be single when talking to someone looking for marriage. For JAYDEN, no, for men, is it really so important that the one they love be of the opposite sex? Princess, finding that fact to be strange or unsightly is a sign of ignorance about the opposite sex. Have you heard about the book What Men Think About Apart from Sex?
What men think about apart from What men think about apart from Kettle? Men must really love Kettle Playa, wow!
What men think about apart from sex? That sounds interesting. Let's look it up.
Now searching for you! Search results, there's a novel of that name written by Sheridan Simone. Colloquially, it's also a phrase used to refer to the blank notebook, ironically implying that men don't think about anything other than sex.
Wasn't there also a book called What Women Think About Apart from Money? MEOW, if you're worried about that and you really like him, wouldn't it be better to just come clean and tell him? That's certainly one option. To be honest, even we don't know your body's real sex. Similarly, though we act like women, there's no way for anyone to know about our body's sexes are. Our bodies are far apart, and we can only meet in the KeyZona virtual rooms, so our sexes don't really matter. However, in your world, where your bodies can actually approach each other, I'm sure it matters a lot. I think that as long as the love is mutual, it can be shared between people regardless of sex, and even with inanimate objects if you take it to an extreme. Yes! I agree! In that case, it falls into the ace spectrum. Yes! Yay! Okay. Sorry. That's quite a unique way of thinking, Lingjun. I don't dislike it, though. I'm aware that this view is only shared by a tiny minority, both in the COU and the world at large. I suppose gender really is important. If telling him the truth— wait, sorry, wrong voice. And it should be obvious that I agree because I'm— okay, yeah, reading the lines. Anyway. If telling him the truth would make him give up on you, then that love wouldn't have lasted long anyway. If that's the case, you're better off making things clear sooner rather than later. Does this mean your sex is really one of the things that would make him give up on you?
No, it's not like that. Thanks everyone for worrying so much for my sake. It's not as though I'm keeping quiet because my sex would make Jayden give up on me. That's, my problem. Our problem.
MEOW had personalities of 2 different genders in a single body, so a gender reveal wouldn't only have consequences for her. Bearing that in mind, this certainly wasn't an easy problem. Whether you decide to reveal it or not, that choice will also be a part of your romantic experience.
If they both have love, there's no barrier that won't be able to cross. Wow!
In the end, what Naima just said is the answer. No matter how much we barge in and try to offer advice, it isn't as important as the answer MEOW decides for herself. MEOW, I think you should enjoy your love, including the part where you worry over this question.
Jayden, I'll definitely tell you about my body someday. Don't worry about it, okay? There's no need to force yourself. No, I want to tell you. I just need a bit more time to prepare myself mentally.
I see.
So, Christmas.
Huh?
Search results. In Japan, Christmas is considered a major event for couples. Poyo. By the way, America roasts turkeys for Christmas, but in Japan they eat fried chicken for some reason. Poyo. If we can still feel this way about each other on Christmas, I'll tell you then. Is that too long to wait?
Not at all. I'll respect your feelings, but still, thanks.
Why?
You probably decided to do that for my sake. Thanks for caring about me so much. I'll make sure I care for you just as much, MEOW. So, I'll make you a promise right now.
Okay.
I love you regardless of what sex you are. You're the best girlfriend, the best buddy a guy could have.
Thanks, Jayden.
Oh, I love them so much! Ah! Okay. Let's compose ourselves again. Christmas wasn't that far off. Once autumn and then winter came, it would be here. They passed in front of a home appliance modding store. In the window, a TV toaster hybrid was showing them the news.
They're just so cute together. I wanna cry.
Okay, let's compose ourselves again. Okay. I'm standing in front of the IMPA headquarters in Lato, Brazil. Just now, their spokesperson No. Sorry, I'm a little mentally compromising. It's just so
Hate each other.
Okay. Okay. Give me a moment. Alright. Hold on. I'm really getting emotional about it right now. Give me a moment.
They're just so cute together. I'm really getting emotional about it. I don't know why. Just give me a moment. Just give me a moment. I usually don't care about stuff, but they're just so sweet together. Just give me a moment. Okay, I'm trying not to get emotional. Too late though. They're so sweet together. Oh my god. Sorry. It's just give me a moment, please. Okay. Give me a moment. I'm trying to compose myself. It's too hard. Ah! Okay. We're gonna try. Okay. I don't know why, but I always get really emotional during, like, I don't usually care about romance stuff, but I don't know. Whenever it comes to, like, certain, I don't know, I just get really emotional about it. That's just how I am. I don't know why. It's just really weird. For me. I don't know why I'm excited. That's just how I am. I usually don't care. I don't know. Like, my feelings about, cause, okay. Like, whenever it came to when they cry and stuff, and when they talk about the romance topics, I don't really care about Keiichi's ships very much. Or whatever. I usually don't really care about most shipping in general, or anything like that. So, I don't know. I don't really even know how to, like, articulate how I feel about certain things. Cause, like, when I think about things like that, it's, a different bag for me. Because the way I experience things is different from other people. Like, what Lingji was mentioning. Lingji was mentioning. Things like that and stuff. And I don't know, whenever I see people, they find a way to label themselves, and for me, I'm like, I sometimes feel really hyper-specific about labels, and it would be not. I kind of envy the fact that I can't easily think of a good shorthand to describe myself, because trying to describe it is very complicated. So it makes me really. So it's really hard for me to. I always feel reluctant to label myself as like one thing or the other. And I know a lot of people say, like, you don't have to label yourself if you don't feel. It's just like, you know, sometimes you just don't want to feel like you need a whole explanation, and you just really want to get certain things across, because like when people ask you like, what, you're not attracted to this person in that way, and you're only attracted to them in a certain way, and you're together with them, like, isn't that weird? And then that becomes complicated, and it's just kind of like, I don't know. Anyway, sorry about going on a little tangent there. Alright, let's continue. Just now, their spokesperson commented on the conflicts breaking out. Okay. I'm standing in front of the IPMA headquarters in Lato, Brazil. Just now, their spokesperson commented on the conflicts breaking out simultaneously all across the globe, saying that because interventions made in any particular conflict might benefit or harm one faction or another, they would have to wait for the situation to de-escalate before taking action. He made clear that they don't intend to interfere with any of these conflicts at this time. In response to this, the AOU Joint Press Secretary said, Kettle, poro. My bad. Kettle, poro. Have you upgraded to the new version of Kettle Puyo? For a small fee, you'll be able to remove ads just like this one, Poyo. You haven't done that yet, so it'll be 2 minutes and 58 seconds until the ad ends, Poyo. Now let's sing the Addy Frank's Coming of Age journey.
What? Oh, okay. Alright, that's it. We're done here. Alright, thanks for watching. We'll do other stuff now.